CVA's AccuraSeries, Bagara barrels for guaranteed accuracy, nitride for guaranteed rust proofing, and a rifle guaranteed to be the best muzzleloader you've ever shot. CVA, it's just a better gun.
All right, welcome back, everyone. And Brandon, first off, I want to say a big thank you and a shout out to Daisy Blair. A lot of people don't know she's our camera person. Yep. And Channel 5 was gracious enough to let us bring our own camera person out here. And Daisy Blair wanted to kind of try her hand at it, and she's wound up being very, very good.
Matter of fact, if you call during this calling segment, you're probably going to talk to her.
So you can call us here, 737-7767, with any question you might have, hunting and fishing related. You give us something about rocket science, we can't help you there, but till those calls start coming in, I want to say I learned a little bit more this week. I studied a little bit about the University of Mexico and what they're doing and some of the things that is going on in the whitetail industry. And you've heard Brandon talk about the UV protection, the killing the blues out. Well, you know, we heard about that like 20 years ago. Oh yeah. And then it kind of just mellowed out and everybody kind of, you know, didn't think about it anymore. Come to find out, the blues are very, very predominant. They are. I think actually when it came about, it was really about 20 years ago, if not a little more. I think they were so far ahead. I do too. At that point in time, the technology wasn't there for people to understand. Well, we didn't even have computers. We didn't, and here they were saying, well, the deer are seeing this, and people are like, they're crazy. But weird. There has been a sufficient amount of studies put into that. And yes, the way studies prove, deer can see ultraviolet light, and especially blues and a certain array of blue colors, blues into purples, and it's there, and they do see it. They are saying right now that they can pick that blue out a whole lot faster. Now here's some other things. They see movement 20 times faster than we do. Yeah. I can believe that. 20 times faster. I think I've seen some that could see it a little quicker than that. But I say that because deer don't know what you are if you're just sitting real still and not moving. And I'm emphasis on not moving. Yeah. But now, if you're sitting up in your tree stand and you're smoking a cigarette, you can forget it. Just about forget it. It's the movement. The movement gets people busted in the deer woods more than anything else. A lot of times they think that they got smelled, and I'm not saying they didn't, because sometimes you do, but honestly, most of the time they caught you moving. And they don't necessarily know you're a human. They just see movement. Deer are not walking around in the woods looking for humans. They're walking around looking for danger. And to them, any movement, especially a sudden movement, is automatically danger. That's right. And so they pick that up. I mean, one, you move your arm this much, or reach for your binocular or something. The slightest movement, a deer 100 yards through the woods might see that, and if they do, they're done. Along with the University of Texas and University of Mexico, both came up with the same idea. They can't see blaze orange. Blaze orange does not matter to them. It's no different of a color too than any other. Now, if you were wearing blaze blue, yeah, they're going to see that. You go hunting in blue jeans, they're going to see it. Yeah. They can pick up the blues. They can pick up most any kind of blues. But they found out they can't pick up the reds. They cannot pick up the reds. Well, and the sun produces ultraviolet lights, which can reflect off of particular things, which is why we talk about treating our blinds with UV treatment, because you got your clothes ready and everything's ready to go, and you jump in a blind and the sun's casting UV light off of it. It's because of the print. It shines. It's because of the print. The color that's put in your print is what gives off the UV. It does, and it comes from the sunlight. Because you can take cotton, which this shirt is cotton. So you take cotton, cotton doesn't do it. But the color in the cotton to dye it means that it's got UV in it. So that's what we're trying to kill out, because they can see that. But as far as you wearing blaze orange, and how many times, I'm just as guilty. You get up and you stand, you figure, well, I'm 30 feet up, Nobody's going to shoot a deer 30 feet up.
And
so
you
I
feel
wear
like
my
you're
orange
sticking
cap.
out.
Sometimes
you know?
I wrap my vest around my stand, but I don't have it on. Okay, I'm telling off on this, but I thought, well, that's because, you know, but no, that's not it, ladies and gentlemen. They cannot pick that. It's the movement you're making.
It usually is movement.
That's busting.
And you have an electric shield around you as well.
That's right. That's right.
Who do we have at what line, Taylor? Who do we have on line 1?
John, how can we help you? John?
Hello, Hughes. How you doing?
Hey,
yes,
how
sir.
How you doing? I watch our show all the time on Thursday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, y'all pretty good on that.
How can we help you, John?
Where's the fish at? You said the fish is biting real good. What it at?
Well,
Catfish is hot.
catfish is hot right now on Reelfoot. I just got a great report from Billy Blakely up at Blue Bank Resort. They are filling the coolers full of channel cat and blues.
Okay. How about on freeze?
Now, Priest, I hadn't heard.
Well, nighttime. I've heard some great reports, but it's been nighttime. Several guys have done well on Priest and Old Hickory both in the last 2 weeks, but typically been putting their boats in within an hour or so after dark and fishing overnight.
How about rockfish and ivory? Are they still running?
That I haven't heard.
The rockfish, I'm going to tell you, they're going to be a little deeper. That water's a little too hot for them right now.
It's warm right now.
It's still warm.
Yeah.
It's in the upper 80s. So the water temp's got them a little bit on the spook side, so they're going to stay down low. That's just typically about a striper. But now I do tell you one. I recommend that TLC Moving Water guide service for anybody that wants to go striper fishing in Caney Fort River. Now they're there,
and the water's nice and cool.
And the
there.
water's nice and cool.
It
so
stays
I mean,
that way.
if you're a hardcore striper fisherman, that's where I suggest going.
There's some mighty good ones in there. A lot of people don't think about the
A lot
Caney
of people
Fort.
don't think about that.
They think about trout when they think Caney Fort,
That's right.
and it's some of the finest striper fishing
Some of the
there
finest
is.
striper fishing in the South.
It is.
And also smallmouth.
Oh yeah, we were
Smallmouth,
smallmouth fishing there a couple of weeks ago.
So,
I appreciate it.
Thank you very
Thank you
much
for
for the
calling.
questions. Just great. And Scott, how can we help you?
Scott?
Scott, how can we help you?
On public land,
Yeah.
when do they close the season? Halfway through gun season?
Halfway through gun season.
What is it? Which particular piece are you talking about?
It's in Smith County.
Smith County.
It's a Cordell Hole Lake.
That must be something that's particular to Cordell Hole, because most of the time your WMA's run with statewide season. I've not heard.
Now,
I
they
hunted
don't have
Cordell
the
Hole.
extended hunt. The extended archery hunt at the end of the season. They don't have that.
Andrew Holler. I can't remember the name of the park.
It may just be that it's limited hunting in that particular park. It's got to be something that is related only to that park.
That's right.
Because with our WMAs, they're going to run with statewide season unless otherwise posted, and there's very few that don't run with statewide. They don't have the additional, like Hugh was mentioning, the additional doe hunt at the end of the year. They don't have that, but they should have every other hunt, so that's
right.
probably a particular park. And if it is, it's usually not set by TWRA. Actually, it's usually Park Service or USDA that sets those.
Mm-hmm. Hope that helps you, Scott.
That'll help me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good night.
All right. We got any more callers?
Is that on 4?
James?
Sorry, guys, we got a new phone here tonight.
James, how can we help you? James?
Oh, yeah.
How can we help you tonight, brother? Hello?
I was just going to tell you how catfish is biting. The copper worm's real good on Pay Lake.
Oh, man.
Catawba worms.
We need a catawba tree.
Yeah. People don't think about those as much as you would
Dude,
think.
that used to be the only thing we could use.
Yeah, Catawba worms,
Catawba
they've
worms
kind of
are
lost
great.
popularity, but they're a great bait.
They're a great
I got
bait.
a second back this year.
Man. Well, I tell you what, it's awesome bait, and catfish just love it.
Yeah, catfish, panfish.
They bite them in pay lakes.
Now, are you talking about the local pay lakes around here? Like, what's the one up here?
I'm in Sumner County.
I was going to say, that actually, yeah, there's some around Gallatin. And
Meadowbrook Game Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm right over next to it. They bite good there.
Awesome. Well, it's time. It really is. It's time for them. That cool front the other day helped a little bit on the water temperature, but it jumped right back up.
Heading back up.
Thank you, James.
Thank you. Have a great night.
All right, we got our tip of the week. It's being
week.
brought to you by Davidson County Farmers Co-op, where they're right there on Dickerson Road, about a mile from Briley Parkway. So you got a great tip for us?
I do. It's a tip anyway,
it's
right?
A tip.
No, we were talking earlier about the upcoming dove season, and I know several friends that they actually have gotten where they don't even hardly hunt because they can't hit the doves. You know, you hear all the time, well, I just can't hit them, so I don't shoot at them. But what people are typically doing wrong, and this I get more from my background in skeet and trap, but they're not leading those birds enough. They feel like they're leading the birds, and they're not. A crossing dove, you say left to right, right to left, with a 12 gauge at 35 to 40 yards, you should be 6 to 8 foot in front of that dove.
That's right.
And so people are, they're shooting 2 or 3 foot in front of that bird, and that shot is falling 2 or 3 foot behind them. And so just keep that in mind. You really need to get out ahead of those birds. I mean, start at 6 feet and try that and see if your luck doesn't change, because I guarantee you'll hit more birds if you'll just swing out in front of them a little further. And
just one more extra. Don't get disheartened too much. It's usually, on average, it's a box of shells per bird.
Buy the cheapest ammo you can. You know, my friend Jack, before we go, he does have a little rule, and it makes him feel better every year. He says if he can fill that empty box up with the doves that he hit shooting that box of shells, it was a success.
He's good.
And that takes about 3 birds.
About 3 birds.
Makes him feel pretty good every time.
Packing them in there tight.
That's right. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in just a minute with a recipe for you from Mr. Tom Courtney and some more Southern Woods and Waters.